We're back on Ski-U-Mah Weekly. The set got a little bit bigger, and we've got some medals here. We've got some hardware. We have some members from women's track and field who picked up the 6th Big Ten championship in program history this past weekend, somewhere in the middle of Ohio. We'll talk about that in a little bit. From what would this be? Right to left we'll go with. We have Taylor Whipkey, high jump. We have Emerald Igwam, 400 meters, and others. And then we have Carly Place, pole vault. Did I get all of that right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, congratulations, first of all. Thank you for joining us. Taylor, I'll start with you.
Okay.
Just the overall experience of this past weekend, what was it like?
Insane. Like, I get chills right now just talking about it and putting my t-shirt back on and sitting with these girls. Like, we knew we could do it, but even then, like, the last 4x4, we knew we won, but then the minute we get to, like, run on the field and, like, be all excited and hugging everyone, it's, like, it's unexplainable how awesome it was.
Well, Emerald, what is the statute of limitations on how long you can wear the t-shirts and medals? Because your coaches are still wearing the hats. They're all over the place. You can see, I don't know if we can see this on our shop, but it's all over the new building. So what have the last, 24 to 48 hours been like?
It has been surreal, I would say. I think after winning a co-title in 2016, it's amazing to come back and be able to pour into each other and do it again. So it's just been a big blessing, I would say.
It was a big day two, Carly, but you had a lot to do with day one, and you kind of put them in position to where day two everybody took off. But your experience as a relative newcomer, I know you transferred from here for this season. What was it like for you to jump in this team, I guess literally, but also figuratively, and kind of blend in and now be a big part of their success?
So when I was recruited, they kind of told me that like we've been planning for this and like it's all like been a long time in the making, and to be like a part of a championship team where I feel like I was brought on specifically to help us like win something, I was very emotional. Especially this is my senior indoor season, and it couldn't have gone any better. It's amazing.
It had to have been. And take me into the locker room, so to speak, night one to night two, where I think you guys were in 4th place going into the second day of competition. And then as your coach explains it, you got out of the gates super quick and didn't run away with it, no pun intended, but really started super fast, and that kind of carried you through the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, well, hammer and high jump were the first 2 events on day 2. And Hedda and I got 3rd and 4th, which was awesome in the high jump. And then our hammer girls,
insane.
First with
1, 3, 4, 7.
Big Ten record or something. It was it was.
So how do you stay in the moment when they're going crazy and like you guys still have your own races to run or own events to do it? How do you kind of focus on yourselves when you see such a great start? Go ahead.
So while I'm pole vaulting and I'm at the end of the runway and I know I saw you running the 400 prelims, I will get off the runway and cheer, and just like watching you run pumps me up. So thank you. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like you focus on yourself, but also it's like we are one. So.
Do you agree, Emerald?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot about pouring into each other. I think watching other people succeed on your same team really encourages you. Like, hey, I can do it too. I'm going to do it for the team too. So I think that's a really good thing. I think we just kept the momentum going.
So there is such a thing as momentum.
Yeah,
like
it's really real.
Feel it build.
Yeah.
So about the process, I know this, and we may talk to your coach. He's lurking over there in the background. He may pop by, but he's talked a lot about how basically a couple of years ago he said, I'm putting this plan together. May have to redshirt some people that don't want to redshirt, but to be part of that process. And Carly, I know you kind of hopped on that. Like you said, you were one of the final pieces to the puzzle. But what was it like going through that process and knowing that it was all building up for this season?
Well, he told us the other night that he had this idea in like 2016 where he's been planning it ever since, and like it's been on his mind. And it's cool to like hear him say that, and then it happens, and it's like, wow, he really planned this out, and like he helped us do this, and it was a huge group effort, and to have it pay off like that is really phenomenal.
So he didn't tell you about it? That's
he didn't tell
coaching.
us that specific story
until
like our team
until
dinner.
closer, to the actual moment.
So tell me about the place where you guys competed. I know it's kind of in the middle of nowhere in Ohio, but it's a beautiful first-class operation, and that's got to be a great place to hang a banner, so to speak. Here's the coach lurking, but go ahead. Tell us about what's going on. Tell us about where you've competed.
Spire Institute, I think is it also an Olympic training center?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a 300 track, so I think for the people who are competing on the track specifically, it's nice to run on a bigger track because it's more like outdoor, less tight curves, and it's very spacious. So there's a lot of room for stands and supporters, and even like for the 4x4, the team was able to literally be like almost on the track screaming in your face and pushing you while you're running. So I think it's a really great environment.
No, Coach Bingle, you win a Big Ten championship, we can't even get you a chair.
That's
how we roll at Ski-U-Mah Weekly.
They're a step ahead of me.
They worked hard this weekend, right? So
I just watched.
They need to get some rest.
Yeah,
So
I didn't do anything.
Tell us a little bit about the master plan, so to speak. I know you've talked to them a little bit about it. I've seen you quoted. A couple of years ago, you said, I'm going to build up to 2018. Take us through that process a little bit.
Well, I'm big on, establishing a vision, for internally for the staff, and also, presenting it to the team so that they know what our goals are and what we're working towards. And so this one, this particular one that we won was built on a plane ride to Washington, D.C. with actually Emerald, because Emerald had a test and the team was already there. And so it was just me and her on the plane, and I think our pole vault coach was with us. And I was just sitting by myself on the plane for 2 hours and just planning and writing and putting pieces where they needed to be. And then when I got off the plane, we got there late, went to bed, woke up the next morning and told my assistants, I got a plan.
You figured it out.
I got a plan to win an 18, and this is how I want to do it. And then I told them, like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We're good. I think we can do this, But I think too, you got to have a vision, but obviously the vision changes and the plan. And the plan changes, a lot, because also to that point was this summer, or in the spring we added 4 transfers, too. And some of these things you can't plan,
right?
And you don't know. But obviously adding like Carly Place, Aisha Champagne, and Caitlin Long, and Nayoka Clunas, who are older, more mature in their transfers, that's a huge insertion to our team.
So take me through your thought process night one as you're preparing for day 2 of the championships. Are you preparing the big Newt Rockney speech, or everybody kind of knows their plan moving into the next day from where you sat in 4th place?
Well, day one, didn't go as well as what I wanted it to. And so I was pretty irritated, to be honest. And so then I went and I had 2 of my assistants. I needed to figure out what exactly happened, because I was so busy coaching, I didn't know really what happened to me. And then they came back and said, everybody else had bad days too in some areas. And so then it was still, the gap was smaller, right, but it was still winnable. So at that point my outlook kind of changed, like, oh, we're still in the right spot. And then like what Taylor and these guys said was, in the morning, it instantly changed. With those 3 events, we were up 15 points off of what I had. And we started the day probably with like maybe a 6 or 7 point lead, based off of what I had. Because I planned that out too.
Sure.
I plan out exactly from the last place team to the first place team who they're going to be and where we project them to be, so that I know how to coach and how to motivate and how to do things they're supposed to do.
I'm going to make it very uncomfortable for the student athletes here, so I'm going to ask you to just go down line by line from Taylor, Emerald to Carly, what they brought to the team this year, what you appreciate about them. They can't see you. They're going to be awkwardly looking at the camera.
Like, what does he got to say about me?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I hope I was everything that he wanted me to be.
Am I allowed to be honest, or do I have to?
Whatever you want. It's Ski-U-Mah Weekly. The floor is yours.
Okay.
We are live, though, so we can't go back and edit this.
Well, that's true, so I better be careful. Well, Taylor brings just a great personality to the group, which is true. Okay? She's awesome. She's got a great spirit about her. She's lovable. She's the greatest teammate. And she's just really matured over her time here. And just situations like she was in on Saturday with 3rd attempt at an important bar, and smoked it. Just as a freshman, she would have never done that probably. And so she's just really matured, and it's been fun to watch. Emerald, she had challenges this year. She's got a bad back, and it's not going away. And so her training was very different than what it was last year. And she made lots of personal sacrifices and getting shots and doing all these things to just try to be able to train. I mean, she missed a whole week of training in the middle of the season. And she's still almost PR, and she's ranked top 20 in the country. Right. So she really gave it all for the team. And it's been, it's a blessing for the team, and she's learned a lot from that challenge. And had a great spirit about it. And then Carly, she's been awesome. She's the new blood, into the team. And for her, every day is kind of a first day, and so she's one of those kids. It's just like, I think she's super excited every day to be here, because it's totally changed from where she was, and she's been a great teammate right from the start and been lovable for everybody from day one, and just fit in right away. So they're all unique in their own ways, but they all understand it's team first. And that's the vision, that's the number one vision we have, is always team first. The team is way up here. We're all down here. So.
What do you think? Was that accurate representations of all three of you? Did you co-sign on all of those?
I liked it.
Yeah, that worked well. You can save that for your resume. Well, congratulations to all you guys. I know it was an exciting weekend. Coach, title number 6 for you. Are they all like your children? I mean, can you pick a favorite? Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, they're all very unique, in their own ways, So it's each one is different, and each one you like in their own separate ways. But every one's a blessing.
Well, congratulations on the vision coming true, and to you three for helping with that vision. Congrats on a great weekend and continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There we go, the Big Ten Championship edition of Ski-U-Mah Weekly. A reminder, we're going to be here next week. I think we're talking football next week. I'll find out 10 minutes before the show, but it'll be great. By the way, thank you. John is our Facebook question about the atmosphere. He wins the Minnesota Lottery prize pack, so we'll be in touch there. Remember, if it's Monday at noon, it's Ski-U-Mah Weekly here on the Gopher Sports Facebook page.